Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Cigars and Everything Else podcast. We are in episode, I can't find it, 51. How did I forget?
51,
we just
man.
had the big
Come on, we just hit our
last
milestone.
week.
Exactly.
Hey, man, you know, I'm trying to hit milestones in all parts of my life, man. So these milestones, you know, they be
you got multiple milestones.
Yeah, I'm just running marathon, baby. I'm trying to get to the next one, you know.
I got you.
Hey, look. My name's Jared. Denzel's my co-host, and we're going to get into some cigar and everything else. But from here, Denzel got to let us know who gets the episode, man.
Hey, man, look. I think we might be going baseball. I think we might be going baseball.
Man.
But I'm gonna give you football first. Legendary Dick Butkus.
This
name rings bells.
It sounds like it's Dick Butkus episode, but let's go. Who you got from baseball?
The legendary Randy Johnson, man. I gotta give it up to Randy Johnson. Come on.
Randy can have it. Randy
now, we talking about we know our eras, right?
Yeah.
That 90s, early 2000s, baseball was hitting at one point.
That was the only era I cared about it. That was the era I cared about it. About that
Randy
much.
Johnson
I ain't gonna
was in
say
that
that much. I cared about that much. I kept my cards and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like so.
And Randy Johnson, he was one of the ones.
Yeah,
he was one of the ones. So you got it. Come on, Randy Johnson.
Randy can have it, man. We'll give it to Randy. All
right, there we go.
Hey, Randy Johnson, we at it, man? We crap on baseball a lot. I do want to say this. You sent me a link to watching some kids play in high school basketball. Was that what it was?
Yes.
These kids, man. Yes. Let's paint the picture. Some high school kids. Everybody, one kid comes down, takes a three. He feet on the line, not on the line, but just behind the line, pulls up three. Next group come down before the rest of his teammates get down court. He stops about 3 feet behind the 3-point line. He pull up, splash. Next person get the ball. They come down. They step back 3 feet beyond where the kid was at from the last shot. He splashed. Next thing you know, we pretty much at half court at this point in time. And when the next kid comes out, he just pull up from half court. And then after that, the kid have to pull up a step behind half court. And I thought to myself,
splash.
They all made their shots, but I thought to myself, this stinks. This stinks watching this. And in honor of the playoffs right now, I'm going to say basketball. If you continue down this path, you're going to be baseball. And when I say baseball, I mean, you're going to be a highly skilled sport that everybody can't do what you do, but it is not entertaining to watch.
I watched. Hey, look, but what got me?
9 players not get back court in time before they had to turn around and go the other direction about 5 different times.
But what got me, the crowd went wild every single time. The crowd went crazy every time.
It's impressive.
The crowd was loving it. The crowd was loving it.
Yeah, it's impressive. But that is boring to watch and boring to participate in.
How long?
And you know what else is impressive?
How long would that be exciting for?
It ain't going to be exciting for very long when everybody's doing it. But I'll tell you what else is impressive. Watching a pitcher throw 100+ mile an hour fastball every single time he throw.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Extremely impressive.
But it's boring to watch.
It is very boring to watch. After you've seen everybody throwing 100 miles an hour, it's no longer fun to watch. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's where you go in basketball. Do that crap if you want to. Everybody keep picking up on it. Like, I'm going to tell you, it's like this, man. Threes is cool, but dunks is a whole lot more of what keeps the game alive. And it's just
that'll never go out.
Never go out. And like we were talking about boxing last week, I tell you what, dunks is like knockouts in boxing. Yeah, it's cool to outbox somebody for 12 rounds and win on points. But a knockout is a whole lot more fun to watch.
More exciting. Yeah, a whole lot more exciting.
3-point shootout has never been more exciting than the dunk contest. That is the grand finale. Like,
there's arguments on that. You can't argue that.
Historically, it's never been, is what I'm saying.
Historically, no. Historically, no. But in recent history, there have been some more exciting 3-point contests and dunk contests. We've seen that. But when you talk about the in-game aspect, definitely dunks are way more exciting in game than threes. You know, it's become what are those guys? What do they call it? Analytics? It's become an analytics thing. Okay, you're gonna win if you shoot at a certain percentage, hitting threes, and you are getting twos. So boom, everybody started zeroing in on the threes, and now we see Golden State getting outshot on threes now. Steph Curry and Klay couldn't even keep up yesterday watching the playoff. They out of there now. Because everybody doing what they doing now. Everybody doing what they was doing when they was killing everybody, and now they getting outdone.
But let's be honest. Let's be honest about why they were good at what they did. I'm going to be brutally honest about it, too. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry to our listeners, because I don't know how else to say this. But Steph Curry, Klay Thompson were fantastic shooters because they couldn't be fantastic athletes in other aspects, like donking and things like that. They are the equivalent of what a John Paxson and Steve Kerr were, but at a high level because they actually have some athleticism. You know what I mean? Like, but that's what them got. Back in the day, you know what a lot of the white dudes did in the league? They were the 3-point shooters. They stood on the outside and got their shots off. You know what I'm saying? Because they couldn't go in the paint and do the other stuff. You know what I mean? And that's what Stephen Curry is. He's, you know, I hate to say he's undersized because he's 6 foot, but 3? You know what I'm saying? He's good size guy.
Yeah, he's still 6'3". He was slender early on, but you know what I'm saying? He put on some size now. So he's not as undersized as people would assume historically.
Yeah. When I say undersized, I am referring more to how he got to the point where that was his game.
He ain't 6'8", 250. You know what I'm saying? That's
how his game was built, because he ain't 6'8", 250 and dunking everything. He was what he was as a guy and was dealing with I can handle the ball. Not that great of a jumper. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty quick. I'm probably not that fast. You know what I'm saying? And I can get to certain places and do certain things. And he took his skill set and made the most of it. And then everybody had to copy it. You know what I'm saying? But he comes from a shooting lineage. His dad couldn't do nothing but shoot on the outside. You know what I'm saying? Like, so who you think trained him? He took his skill set that he was born with genetically and made the most of it. Now, but if he could be Allen Iverson, he'd have been Allen Iverson. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's be honest about it. He made the most of his situation. And what's his name? Klay is the same kind of guy. Just 2 light-skinned dudes that just didn't quite have the rest of it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they weren't LeBron.
But was smart enough to utilize what they had to their disposal.
What they had, yeah. They weren't Dwayne Wade. They weren't LeBron. They was just, hey, man, I really can shoot good and handle the ball, man. That's
but look at what they made the league become. Man,
well, look at the players we watched in the video. Who was the ones doing it all in the video? Because they're shooters. Like, we're really giving the game back to them. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just giving it back to people who can't do nothing but shoot on the outside. Like, so it's all right. Do it if you want to, man.
Keep on,
man. You're going to run the league in the ground.
All right, you're switching. Can you hear me?
Well, yeah, I hear you. So, were you going to add a point, or are we going to move on from this? I'm sorry, man, because we didn't even get through the intro. I done jumped into a subject.
We didn't even get to the stars of the show yet.
We did.
But nah, that's all good. Hey, look, it's real talk. Like, looking at how things are going, and I've had this discussed with it for several years now. Just watching how the game is played and been like, man, I can't stand the way the game's being played now. Yeah. And a huge fan of basketball for decades, man. And to have a certain level of distaste for it says a lot. And then now you see the way things are going. So, hey, look, I understand. Trust me. And it's playoff season right now. So, hey, we big on basketball at this moment.
How do you have a juggernaut like LeBron James give up all his strengths to become what somebody else is? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Shooter.
To become a 3-point shooter. My dog Dame Lillard, you know what I'm saying? He's one of the top shooters, you know what I'm saying? But his skill set is so much more than that. Like, you don't have to be that. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
but that's what you got to be nowadays.
Is.
It's what you got to become now to win. they got to shift. They had to shift.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? You got all these big men. You got all these big men. We talked about pure big men last episode with David Robinson and those guys. And you got these big men who have a certain skill set or they can bring a certain thing to the game, but they deduce that and they become a 3-point shooters now.
Yeah.
Big men. You know what I'm saying? And they could be they could become what Shaq was, but they'll never reach that because they're trying to become what Steph and Clay were. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Because that puts more points on the board because that's worth 3 instead of 2. And cheating
our experiences. Cheating our experiences. We'll probably never have another dominant Shaq ever again or for a while until the game shifts again because we got big men shooting threes instead of getting down low banging. We'll never see a Shaq type of player until the game switches back.
How can it switch back?
I missed that.
How can it switch back though, bro? It can't switch back as long as there's one basket is worth 3 points and one is worth 2. Like, you know what I'm saying? It can't switch back unless you just make everything worth 3 points. Like, they would have to change the rules at this point in time. Like,
hey, make dunks threes.
Or push the 3-point line back. You know what I'm saying?
Push the 3-point line, make it more difficult, yeah.
Yeah, because initially it was an add-on to the game to add a little something extra. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it's because like not everybody.
So now you got
not everybody was proficient from shooting that length. It was like, okay, yeah, we'll make this a 3 because not everybody's gonna shoot that.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Because it makes it a little bit more difficult. Yeah. The amount of shooters that you had shooting that shot back when it first came about, all the way up to like maybe the early 90s, you didn't have that many. And then when you started having those guys shooting, you had 3-point specialists. It was certain guys on your team that were designed to shoot that shot.
Yeah.
Not the whole roster. Yeah. It was 1 or 2 guys who was on that team to shoot that shot.
I remember playing NBA Live when they added the little dunk wing for the players that could dunk and the 3-ball for the players that could 3 and the lock for the people with defense. You remember that? You only had like 1 or 2 that had the 3-ball. They might have had a dunk and a 3-ball. Like, you know what I'm saying? And that was it.
Now, if they did that now, everybody have a 3 on there.
Everybody got a 3-ball on there.
Everybody got a 3-ball on there. It's wild. But hey, look, man, let's get to the stars of the show, man.
Yeah, man, let's get to it, man, because I could keep ranting and there's no need. So what we have today is an interesting situation. It's a last-minute episode that was not necessarily going to happen, but we're here now. So I think both of us have a decision to make as far as what we will be smoking. Now, you got a lot tougher decision than me because you got a couple juggernauts over there in your stash that you sent to me the other day. My decision is fairly simple one. You know?
Okay.
I got this.
What you got? I'll let you go first.
I got this Davidoff Yamasa Robusto Geneve. I guess, I don't know. Davidoff is choice 1. And then I got a juggernaut I got to put next to it. I got a Rolls Royce here. See what that is?
But look, for the Gurkha though?
A Gurkha beast. It's my other option. Gurkha or Davidoff?
Davidoff, Gurkha.
What shall it be?
Hey, look, I'm going to tell you, go with the Davidoff, man. I would say humor me with the Gurkha. But for last minute episode, I don't even want to push you through that, man.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
I would say humor me, but nah, man. You go ahead and go with that Davidoff.
Hey, Davidoff it is. So what you got here? What's your options and what we going to do?
Yeah, man. So I hit you up yesterday and I was like, man, I wish we was doing a show tomorrow because, man, I got some picks and I was excited about them, right? Because I went to this cigar shop that was kind of like off the highway that I've been passing by the sign for some years now and I never stopped by. It's like, I'm pulling through, right? And I specifically used this spot to try to find some cigars I haven't seen before and to try some cigars that I haven't picked up. So I picked up 4 cigars that brands I'm familiar with, brand I love, my father's, Monte Cristo, and then I got Punch, but some cigars I never tried before. So we had a conversation about the Connecticut wrappers. I got a My Father's Connecticut, which we don't see often, but I got it. So I was interested in seeing how My Father's does the light Connecticut wrapper. I went ahead and grabbed the punch. For some reason, you said, hey, man, pick up a punch. And I had already had it in my bag. It's like, man, we thinking alike. So this is a Gran Puro, Nicaragua. Mm-hmm. Might try that one. Or I saw this other one that was an eye catcher. It was a Monte Cristo, and it was labeled Cigar Aficionado, #2 cigar of the year. And that made my eyes light up. Rated a 95. Monte Cristo, Nicaragua Series, 1935 anniversary. So
that's the torpedo.
What are we doing?
It's
a torpedo box and box press. Yeah, torpedo and box press.
I think I want to say I had that one on an episode recently.
Did you?
Maybe
no.
I want to say it might have been closer to December.
Hey.
I want to say, but
okay.
I don't know for sure. I actually kind of want to see you do the Monte Cristo personally, between the Monte Cristo and the Punch. Mm-hmm. But because I got Davidoff, I kind of want to see you with the Monte Cristo more.
Monte Cristo.
Yeah, and I'm unsure about that Connecticut, so I want to save that for a different episode.
Okay.
So I don't know, you know what I mean? But what's your choice though, man? That's just my thoughts.
I kind of want to do this this Monte Cristo, but I'm leaning towards the Punch.
Roll with the punch. I'm excited to hear what you got to say about the Punch. Yeah. I'm excited.
Go with the Punch.
Yeah, right. Those would be my top two, so you can't go wrong with those two.
All right, so we're pulling out the Punch. I'm going with it.
Right.
I don't have the information for it already, so I'm gonna go ahead and pull the information up on it so we can see what we getting ourselves into.
Okay. And while you do that, I'm gonna go ahead and cut and go over mine because I do have my information. Mine is a Dominican wrapper with a Dominican origin, and it's also got some where those fillers from? Where they say it was from? Totally slipped my mind. Where they at? I can't recall. Oh yeah, Nicaraguan fillers. That's it. Nicaraguan fillers. Took me a while, but yeah, some Dominican and Nicaraguan fillers.
Oh wow! Look at this, man. So yours is Dominican, Nicaraguan?
Yeah.
This is interesting. Like I'm seeing this happen a lot now, right? Now as we're paying more attention, I'm seeing a lot of this Connecticut and Nicaraguan mix. Like we usually smoke a lot of Nicaraguan through and through, or we do a Honduras and Nicaraguan, or we do like Dominican and Nicaraguan. But this Punch Gran Puro is, of course, Nicaraguan origin, but the wrapper's Connecticut broadleaf. Binder and filler Nicaraguan. So it's Nicaraguan through from the origin binder filler with a Connecticut broadleaf. Mm-hmm. So, hey, I'm interested in this mix here. So this is going to be good. So Punch set out to do whatever they set out to make. Okay. All right, we're gonna go with the match the light. I went with a straight cut. I got some Hibiki again. That Japanese whiskey.
Yeah.
Drinking it neat.
Hold on for me 1 second, D. Go over your cigar and I'll be right back. 1 second.
And I think I might have got this on one match. Close to the fingertips, though. A little too close for comfort. All right, so off of first light, it looks like we got a nice smooth go with some pepper, though. Some pepper, but smooth. It's not what I'm... Usually when you get that pepper comes with a little bit of a bite. But this has some pepper with some smoothness, though. It's like a dialback pepper, which is cool. I don't mind that. I just displayed. I got my lit off with one match. I got close to the fingertips though. Let's see if you get yours off of one match. Oh, is that your first match?
Mm-hmm. I'm in the game. Ain't that cool when you get some good pepper? When you don't mind it?
Yeah.
Good pepper.
Yeah. And that's what I'm getting right now. It's some good pepper. It's like that pepper that you get, and it makes you want to just put your cigar down for a minute and just let it burn. That's not what I'm getting on this one. It's just like that. Okay, decent pepper, and kind of with the feeling that okay, we're gonna get to the pepper stage, and then we're gonna get to some other notes. That's the kind of vibe I'm getting so far with this punch.
Now I got some pepper on mine. I don't think I got a good light. Even though I'm well lit, it looked like only one part of this, one part of it got burned.
Don't have too much fire to pick up another match. Go ahead, pick up another match.
I do got some more fire. I'm hurt because you didn't. Oh, got it. But yeah, some of this pepper I'm picking up. Hold on. Yeah, I feel like I'm picking up on pepper too, but I think mine has a lot to do with upkeep. I was telling you off air, I'm kind of tired of the place I'm going to. I like them as an establishment, but they got to do better with their upkeep. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that's some of what I'm picking up on is just not being well kept up with.
Yeah. So you feel like your cigar is kind of dried out? And was that the Davidoff that was dried out? Or that was like cracking at the end?
Mm-hmm.
Come on now.
You know, by the time I spend some money on Davidoff, you know what I'm saying? Take care of me. You know what I mean? Like
you want to be taken care of. Yeah. And then that's one thing, like, especially if you have a cigar that does have some pepper or that is going to be a little bit more harsh than a smoother cigar. If it is dried out, that's only going to make that harshness stand out more. Mm-hmm. And for anybody who isn't familiar with how to upkeep with your cigars and make sure that humidity stays right, you're going to get the best performance, especially when you have a cigar like we said, like a pepper cigar, which you have. If it's that humidity level is not right and it's dry, that pepper is going to hit you way more than it would have if that humidity was just right. And that's that buffer system that's going to happen to keep that harshness minimized.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, like I feel like the pepper is supposed to be minimal and it does have some spice to it, but I feel like some of that's dialed up. I don't feel like this is what it's naturally supposed to be, but I can only judge it based off my experience. If I ever had to revisit it, because it is Davidoff and I do believe in the brand, I would be willing to try it again, but you know, I'm not writing it off yet. I'm just getting going, so we'll see.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So, look, let me tell you about this though. Like since you just mentioned establishments. Yesterday, I spoke about the spot that I went to, and I should have known to do this. I should have known better. You know, coming from the culture that we're in, we know not to judge a book by its cover. And I don't know why I did this. Right, being in this realm as long as we have. I did this yesterday. I was a victim to this, right? Yeah. So I told you I stopped by the spot that I've seen on the side of the highway for so many years, and they had this big advertisement talking about their selection and this and that, and it's just like, man, this is the spot I have to go to. So I went off the route a little bit, and finally pulled up to the spot, and my first thought was, this is it? This is what I came all the way out of my way for, right? It's like I was almost about to pull off and say, you know what? Never mind. I don't really care. But I was like, you know what? Nah, get some cigars. That'll make me feel good. Going in there, going into the humidor. I know it always feels good. So no matter what, I'm gonna have a good time regardless. But when I tell you I walked in the spot, Smaller spot, but when I tell you the service was great and the selection, even though it was a smaller spot, the selection was outstanding. Outstanding. And just thinking about like how a lot of times we look at, you know, the idea of this culture that we're into, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how a lot of times we have to understand, hey, look, man, what you have to offer is enough. It's sufficient, and we all come from different areas, and we have different things that we offer. And man, I feel bad that I judged this spot off of what I just saw when I pulled up and then walked in. I felt horrible. It's like, man, how did I get into that mindset of doing that? And when I walked in, I walked out like the happiest customer ever. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, this is wild that I actually did that even this deep into the game. I'm going with another match real quick too.
Yeah. I mean, you know what's interesting about that? It's something that definitely can happen because we do it in other places outside of the cigar world. You know what I mean? So you probably just bring that mindset over at some point in time as a consumer.
Yeah.
Be like, man, I don't know what I'm about to get into, man. What they're going to be like. But then you got to remember the people, anybody that bothered to actually create a cigar shop, they're on the same wavelength as you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's going to be like that.
Yeah. And I was
you
like,
took
man,
more
like,
risk when you go to those smoke shops to do other stuff. That's when you're taking a risk because they may not have a respect for the cigar part.
Yeah, and then I've been wild in that manner too, and went to like a little smoke shop and was like, oh, they actually got a good selection. They might not be taking care of the cigars as much as I would want them to, but understand that's not their expertise. Yeah, that's not their bread and butter of what they here. They got this, but they got some cigars off to the side, you know, and having to have a decent selection. But this was a cigar establishment, and it was a pretty dope cigar establishment, even though it was a smaller mom and pop looking type shop, but it was really dope. And they had all the displays, kind of how we talked about with the details about the cigar. They had all that stuff lined up. I was able to go to each humidor section. Nobody bothered me. In and out, found what I wanted to find, took videos and pictures and all that stuff. Like, man, this was a wonderful experience. Like, you're just thinking about that. Like, if somebody bothered to build a cigar establishment, they got a similar mindset.
Yeah.
And bad me for that, man. I had to slap myself on the wrist for that one.
Yeah. Truthfully, they got the ultimate respect because they love it enough to say, this is what I want to add to the culture. You know what I mean? I want to have my own shop. So it takes a lot of passion. Now, whether they pull it off in a beautiful manner, you know, it's case by case. Like the spot that I got this crack cigar at, nice establishment, cool spot. You know what I'm saying? Looks good, everything. The spot that I'm about to permanently replace them with, hole in the wall. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not in a not so nice plaza. You know, plaza look a little run down, a little shaky. You would think you would kind of be a little unsure about going to it, but the inside ain't that neat. It look like they ain't really organized it well. But when you go in the humidor, it's what it's supposed to be. But the actual shop itself, it looked like they just moved in and never finished moving, unpacking. It's what it looked like. But that's gonna be my new go-to spot because they take care of their humidor, and you know overall they cool. You know. So
it's under the hood package. Yeah, under the hood package matters a lot. And you can't write these types of establishments off. So for those people who are coming new to the culture, hey, look, don't judge that book by its cover, especially when it comes to the cigar game, when it comes to the cigar culture. Get into the weeds. And then understand what it is that you're looking for, what you will enjoy out of the experience. And if they offer that, it ain't got to be the big flashy whatnot. You know, understand what do you enjoy about your cigar experience, the shopping experience, the searching experience.
Yeah, and try a bunch of different spots, man. Try a bunch of spots, and just because one nice spot. If your first spot you go to is super nice, but you don't enjoy it, don't think that's all what it is. You know what I mean? Go to some various spots and get a feel for it, man. Because overall, most people in the culture is gonna be, it's some of the best people you're gonna meet, man. In all honesty,
yeah, man, yeah. Find what's comfortable, and then once you find that comfortability, that's what makes it even more enjoyable. Okay, who else? Who was I talking to about this? And it was like just like, man, it's like it's like our barbershop. You know what I'm saying? I've said this on the show before, but it's like our barbershop. You know, you go in one way, you come out another way. It's like you just went and got a fresh cut and had some dope conversation. You just got enriched.
Most definitely. Hey, let me ask you something. I'm seeing you with the Hibiki. What's your stance on that now that you've been with it for a little bit?
I love it. I was gonna throw some ginger ale in it.
Yeah.
But I was like, I can't disrespect the Hibiki like that.
Okay. So is that because you can see that as like your go-to?
Yeah, actually I can. I think I'm tainted now. I don't know if I'm going backwards. I think, man, just like the journey like we with the tequila, man. I'm there. I'm there with the whiskey. Like I said last time, it was time to up that walk with the whiskey. Yeah. You know, every now and then I'm gonna grab some Jameson, but then the Jameson is gonna be for the ginger ale and whatnot. But if I want something neat and I want something straight, it's gonna be that Hibiki or higher.
So the extra money makes a difference. That's what you're saying.
I gotta say yeah. And like I always historically have been, nah, you don't have to really pay that much to get something great. You don't have to pay it. Now I'm getting to a point of saying, you get what you pay for. Like I was on the other side in a sense of a lot of things. I would try to skip on the lower end. Even as of recently, I've still been trying to buy some tequila on the lower end. Like, I got to be able to find something. There's got to be something great within this price range. I don't have to spend Clase Azul prices to get something Clase Azul like. And I'm finding it ain't it. You're not going to, you can find something good, but it's going to be what it is. It's going to be something for shots. Or it's going to be something that you're going to pour, that you're going to do some mix with. You're going to make a margarita with it or whatever. Or you're going to get some whiskey that you're going to put some Coke with or some ginger ale with. But if you want to enjoy it just for what it is and you want to have it like that, you got to go up. And I didn't want to believe it. As frugal and as cheap as I've always been. You know what I'm saying?
Coming to terms with it.
I'm coming to terms with it, man. And we've had to talk before, though, right? We've had to talk before, right? If you're gonna buy a $30 bottle or $20 bottle 4 or 5 times, then you're just gonna waste it, pour it with something else, and you're gonna drink it quick. Or you can take your time with a bottle, hold it for a good little bit, let it age, and you're gonna sip it. What's spending $150 for a bottle, and that bottle's gonna run you and last you? Especially since you're drinking it straight, you're taking your time with it, you're really enjoying it. That's 2 or 3 bottles of something else when you can have something of quality.
Yeah.
And buy it one time in the same pace that you would, or, you buy something cheaper at a higher pace, but you buy that one bottle that's a little bit more and get better quality and take your time and then actually enjoy it.
Yeah, same money you would have spent over that course of time, you just spend it in one lump sum versus little by little, piecing it together. Not truly enjoying your experience as much, but getting drunk. Like, it's really what you're doing.
Yeah. It is like at this point in time, I'm not drinking to get drunk. You know what I mean? Like, this ain't my early military career or my post-college. You know what I'm saying? We're not enjoying it for that aspect.
Yeah. It's just a byproduct. Nice little buzz to go with it, feeling good afterwards. But take your time with it.
Yeah. Take your time with it.
Process.
So that's what we do now. That's where we at with it now.
Hey, let me ask you this, man. As you get older, do you find yourself enjoying the process a little bit more than rushing to the end with just all things in your life? Because I was having this talk with my wife yesterday, and she said something. I can't remember what it was she said, but it kind of was making me think, like, when Nipsey Hussle say life is a marathon, and which he ain't the first to say it, but he just built his brand around it.
Yeah.
It just really makes it. Yeah, he coined it. It really puts it in perspective that life really is that. You know what I'm saying? No, me and her were talking about failure. That's what it was. And I said to her, you really don't fail until you actually start running the race. You know what I'm saying? Like, but as long as you're still on the track, you haven't failed until you gave up on crossing the finish line. Like, which makes me think about, you know, life is a marathon like that, and is a certain amount of enjoyment you got to have with enjoying the process. And us talking about the alcohol kind of made me think about that again. Like, you know, well, if you sit back sipping your clase, you're enjoying the process. You're not just trying to get drunk like a college student.
Rush to the end. Yeah. Let me finish this bottle so I can feel drunk or whatever, or get to whatever end state that I'm looking for, right?
Right.
In some aspects, I'm gonna say yeah, and in some aspects, I'm gonna say no. No, because I find myself getting more impatient as I get older. My patience is thinner.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes the process annoys me. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like I'm getting less patient. As I don't know if it's just this phase that I'm in, and then maybe as I get a little bit more older, I'll regain that patience. If it's attached to some kind of midlife crisis thing of saying, okay, I'm about to be 40, and as I'm about to be 40, I want a certain thing, or I want a certain lifestyle, or I want a certain settlement. Like I want to be settled in a certain way, right?
Yeah.
So now it's like, okay, I get the process, but now I'm ready for some due result. I think that's where I'm at. It's like I'm ready to see some due result in certain things. Right? Now, have I seen some due result in some things? Yeah, absolutely. But then there's still some things over here that I'm still trying to check off and say, okay, I want some result here, result here. So it's like I enjoy I'm okay with the process and seeing the process through and just enjoying the step in certain aspects, right? Like raising the family and things like that. It's just a process. You just sit back and you're just going through the things with your children and your spouse and all these things. And you're just trying to enjoy the moments as you go along. That part, yes. When the part of, okay, I'm ready for some new results in this goal or that goal, now I'm becoming impatient with it. Now it's like, okay, I'm ready to hit this check block for right now. I'm 40 years old. I want this. I want to have that. Or now I'm shifting the goal because I'm going into this new realm. Now let's jumpstart a certain process. So now I'm impatient in jumpstarting a process. But then maybe once that process gets up and going and moving, then now I can sit back and enjoy the process as it runs. I think that's kind of where I'm at. It's like a back and forth for me.
Yeah. But has it always been that for you? Or would you say it's becoming more of that with age?
It's becoming more of that with age. Because I think if I had to give a percentage of where I'm in or where I am now, it's like 50-50, right? I want results in certain things now, but then I'm ready to enjoy the process on other things now. Split 50-50. Now go back to 20s, it was just about, okay, you're in the process, but I'm not enjoying the process. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I was mature enough to recognize, okay, I got a process. Things have to, it has to be a maturation period of us getting to a certain point, a certain place, but I'm not enjoying this process. You know, understand? I got to go through this, and I see that with young adults now is they want the results quick now, like kind of like what I want now. I want to see the result now, but that's after 20 years of working, 20 plus years of working. You should be expecting results after 25 years of working, but after 2 years of working, I'll be really looking for no strong, heavy results right away now. Right? Give it some time, but understood there was a process before when I was in my 20s, but it's like, man, I was not enjoying the process.
Yeah.
It was tedious and it was, you know what I'm saying, annoying. But I understood it had to be a process. Now that I worked the process for several years, it's like, all right, let's get some result now. Now I'm due something. I'm owed this because I put this amount of work into X, Y, and Z.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm probably in the same place. Where as a young man, I had no patience for that, and I want my results now. You know what I'm saying? Like,
did you?
But I think it's a human thing. You know what I'm saying? We now that we're older, we may look at kids and be like, "Oh, this microwave society." But truthfully, I think
I don't feel like I was that way.
I understood, like you say, realistically, I understand as a process, but I wanted results as quickly as possible. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying that I expected them always to happen like that. I'm not saying I expected everything to happen at the snap of a finger, but I wanted them. If I can get them at a snap of a finger, give me that, because I want it. I don't want to take the stairs. I want the elevator if I can get to the elevator. Now I'm at a point in life where I'm, whatever it's going to be. If I got to take the stairs, fine. You know what I'm saying? If I'm taking the elevator, fine. You know what I'm saying? I'm good either way. And I am starting to find some enjoyment and a way to have fun throughout the process. But yeah, you still want your results though at the end of the day. So it's still going to be that balance where it's like, hey, I don't get it twisted. I want results. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I'm comfortable with the fact that there is going to be a process and I'm going through it. It's like the gym. You know what I'm saying? As an analogy for it, you know your body ain't going to always make the changes you want right away, and people might start seeing them before you start seeing them. But you're like, all right, but
if you can't get the results quick, you're willing to take the elevator for it.
Well,
like, okay, I can see the results.
I don't know if I would take the steroids. Continue with the gym analogy. Today, I don't know if I would take the steroids necessarily to get the results quicker. As a young
what
man,
about then?
I probably would have took the shot in the ass. You know what I'm saying? Back as a young man. Like, but now,
let me get real strong real quick.
Yeah.
I can do some things.
But now it's just like, hey, look, man, I'll just go to the gym. You know, whatever my routine is, I'm going that way. And if I got to eat right, I'll eat right. You know what I'm saying? And if I happen to be somebody who's naturally gifted that gets the results quicker than you, or you know what I'm saying? Like, then I happen to be. But if I happen to be like everybody else, then so be it. Like,
let me ask you this question. For some reason, I don't know why. It kind of correlates and kind of doesn't. But for that reason, this conversation just brought to mind a conversation I was having just a few days ago. We were talking about, it's like algorithm based, right? Mm-hmm. Like real life algorithm based. And I was telling someone the excuses that people used to have back in the day of only being able to reach a potential of their environment is gone. Like, there's no excuse for it, even for young adults maybe even in an impoverished state, right? Because we used to do this back in the day, right? We used to go experience something and we would see something and then we would desire that. And that's what gave us drive to want a certain lifestyle, to want to have certain things, and want to be able to accomplish certain things because we see it. Now that I see it, I know it exists. And I know if this other human can attain it, I can attain it too.
Yeah.
And back in, say, like, in the late 80s, well, let's go back even further. Let's go back to the 60s, 50s, 60s. You know, you only seen what was in your community. Right. You only seen what was in front of you. In order to figure out something, you actually had to get up, go, and travel and see. Oh, this is what they're doing out in Harlem. Oh, this is what they're doing in Detroit. Oh, this is what they're doing in California. Oh, this is how they're living in Miami. And if you didn't do that, you didn't know what to shoot for. You didn't know what to aim for. But now, you can be in the most impoverished state unless you're homeless without any electronic connection whatsoever. Internet access. There's no way that you don't know what exists around you.
Yeah.
Like before, think about how long it had to take for us to find a video of what's going on in Biscayne Bay in Miami, right? You didn't know unless you went down there. Now, if you got a cell phone, which most people do, even if you're poor, you have a cell phone.
Yeah.
And even if you just had a cell phone without any service, you can go somewhere with Wi-Fi. You can go to a McDonald's, they got Wi-Fi. And you can upload and find out something. You can see things. We used to do this back in the day where we used to go in like Google Maps and we used to drop ourselves in areas and then look around, right? Yeah. We used to do that. That took thought for us to think to do that.
Yeah.
Now you can go on YouTube and I can stream what's going on in Nice, France, and I can see the scenes and sights in France.
Yeah.
Or I can go see what's going on in New York right now.
Yeah.
On my phone.
Hear the sounds and everything. This is somebody just walked into a bakery and I watched it, literally.
So the exposure to know what's out there, and to want to strive for something, like there's no excuse anymore, in my opinion, for somebody in no matter what state you're in to get out of that to say, okay, I see what's out there, so let me shoot for it. Because it's right, it's in your hand.
Yeah.
There's no excuse for saying I didn't know that this is how other people were living. That this is I can shoot for this. I can aim for this. How do you feel about that? Like, do you feel like there's still like, is there a case to be made?
Well, this is the interesting thing, because now it comes down to ambition. And the ambitious people were the people that said back in the 60s, 70s, and even our time frame, the ambitious people said there got to be more than what's here where I'm at. Nowadays,
so let me get up and uproot.
Let me uproot and try to find it. I know there's got to be more. Those are the ambitious people, you know, and even if you go to the settlers, they were the people of ambition. Hey, man, we're going to build this boat. We're going to get on this boat and we're going to ride around. I don't know if there's something else out here. Maybe we ain't coming back home, y'all, but there got to be something else.
They took chances. Just like, hey, look, we about to get on this boat and go across this water for months until we find something. I don't know if we're going to go off the edge or what. Like, you know what I'm saying? Back during those times, you know what I'm saying? Like, so those are the ambitious people. Now, today, with the technology there is, one would think that ambition is more abundant, but I don't know. You know what I'm saying? At this point, but see, now to me,
or insecurity, like it's one or the other. Like
it's a true defining now more so than ever before of who has ambition and who doesn't. If you don't shoot, like not saying that you got to reach that goal, because we're still chasing goals of things that we want that we have yet to make come to fruition. But now it's a clear line of whether you got ambition or whether you just lazy now, because it's the excuse for things are gone.
Yeah, you can find some inspiration somewhere.
You can find inspiration everywhere.
Yeah,
everywhere now. You know what I'm saying? There's inspiration underneath your fingertips at this very moment. So now if you don't shoot for it, that really shows who's the ambitious ones and who's who just don't want to do nothing with themselves. Who's just comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
You know, before it was a danger in becoming uncomfortable. The danger levels are gone. The uncertainties are still there, but they're minimized. Because now I can see what Chicago looks like. So I'm not walking into Chicago not knowing what to expect when I get to Chicago.
Yeah.
Because I can see it. I can experience it in a sense. I know what California looks like. I know what France looks like. I don't have to be too afraid of, man, what am I going to be just swallowed up in this world if I go out and try to reach for the stars?
Right. That's a good point, man. And it's, I don't know, man. Or do you think that there are actually people who are, because like I say, it could be insecurity. You know, everybody
it could be.
Everybody's self-value ain't the same. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think that's all it comes down to. It's maybe for all I know, the same amount of people the same percentage of people that was walking the earth in 400 BC that had the ambition and the heart to go try something might be the same amount that's out there now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but
that's scary though. It's the percentages should be higher. The percentage should be higher.
In theory,
would you not agree?
In theory, it should.
In theory, yeah.
In theory, it should be. But hey, man, we ain't. Look, we are all equal in the sense of we all deserve certain rights, but God didn't make us all equal, man. You know what I'm saying? If we being honest, like, right. So with that being said, the percent might be the same, like, you know, but you see a lot of people, it seems like a lot of people take more chances now. You know, there's a lot of people putting themselves out there in social media that would have never had the chance to put themselves out there. You know, to try to...
Or would have never.
Yeah.
I'm one of them. I was talking yesterday, my homeboy. I was talking to Sam yesterday. He actually happened to check out the podcast. And we were talking about it. And I was like, yeah, that exposure of getting in front of people. And I wouldn't have done this if I wouldn't have found a platform that felt comfortable to me. Now that I found a platform that felt comfortable, we just having a cigar and a drink. This is something I was going to do anyway. We just happened to turn the cameras on and have a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it just allowed for that piece to be opened up. But it's the fact that we, you know, took advantage of what's available for us in order to do that, because we had that mind for ambition. So, I don't know. It's just my sensitivity to certain people who aren't becoming what their potential is. My sensitivity level is getting shorter and shorter by the day as I see technology progress and I see things go. And it's like, man, what are we doing? What are we doing?
Yeah, it's a good chance it's all the same amount of people that was willing to do stuff. And, you know, some people scared. Some people don't feel good enough. Some people are too afraid to take a shot. You know what I'm saying? And I think because you've always been a person, regardless of if you may not have been a person who will put yourself out there on a social media platform per se once upon a time, but you've always been a person that put yourself out there like, hey, if this is what I want, I'm going to put myself out there and see if I can get it. So you're never going to have respect for somebody that's not willing to take a shot, you know, because you ain't a person that's been afraid to shoot it when the ball is passed to you. So.
Yeah, trying to, you know what I'm saying, meet Kanye and stuff like that.
Yeah. I don't think we ever told that story up here, have we?
No, we never told that story on here.
It's probably too late to tell it now since he's been canceled. The residual counsel might trickle down to us and counsel us.
I don't think it will. I mean, like, we can go into the story a little bit. I think it's an interesting story just to kind of give insight to that time and that mind frame that we had early on, young 20-something. And, you know, like you said, trying to put yourself in a position. Yeah, college dropout tour. Yeah, that's Floetry and them and Kanye was out there and was it A&T, right? It was A&T?
Yeah, North Carolina A&T University. That's where they were at. And that's where we were at trying to meet them.
We sat down. We tried. Hey man, let's put this demo together. Put a bunch of beats on the CD. The CD era.
Yeah.
and got the CD the Kanye. Man, it was.
Well, hold on. That's now you just can't jump through it now, because if I remember correctly, now this is 20. This is a 20-year-old story at this point in time. When Dropout come out? 04? So this is about a 20-year-old story. Yeah. So. Which he's giving our age away also, saying we was in college in 04, but that's what it is. So the Floetry girl, which one was it that we met up with? It was one of the two, but I don't think it was Marsha.
It wasn't Marsha. It wasn't Marsha. It was
Natalie. We met up with Natalie over there by the buses when they were, everybody was out there, the tour buses, all the students and stuff meeting up with the artists. Yeah, and Natalie said, what'd she say? She said she'd hey man, he's about to come over here, y'all can give it to him then, or something like that, didn't she? But she was friendly about it.
Yeah, it was like that. Yeah, she was cool, real cool.
So we sat there and waited over there near Natalie. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say that like we were sitting around having a conversation with her, but we were nearby and we could see him over there.
We were having a conversation. No, we was having a conversation.
It was brief though.
You know who was? No. I remember that conversation lasting a good minute. You know who was talking to her the most? I don't know if you remember.
Basic B Mac.
Basic B.
Yeah.
If I recall, he was on the steps of the bus talking to her.
Yeah. Yeah, he was. And so once again, hey, this is an interesting point too, man. All reality is subjective. You know what I'm saying? Everybody can live the same experience and tell the story different. So I say the conversation was brief. What I'm really saying is my portion of the conversation with her was brief.
It was brief.
We were all around her for a while. Like you said, we both remember Matt talking. So yes, Matt kept the conversation going with her for a while. I do remember that. So yes, as a group, we were with her for a while, but my portion of it was brief. Matt.
And I was somewhere in between.
Yeah. Which in reality, looking back, that's who we should have been trying to get the CD to, but we didn't have no music prepared for them. So they wouldn't have wanted it. But that's who we stood a better chance with.
Honestly, hindsight, probably so.
Mm-hmm.
Probably so. And man, I remember that moment, and that just goes to speak to, like, you talking about the ambition and being willing to put yourself in a situation in front of people and things. And I remember that moment because we had got to I think it was maybe like one of the bodyguards or one of the people who was with Ye's crew or whatever in his bus. And was like, yeah, you gonna come over, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he said they specifically said he was gonna come over to us.
Mm-hmm.
You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
and I remember Ye coming over, right? And then we got the CD. I can't remember who we handed the CD over to, but I thought that was my moment, man. I thought that was the moment.
Kanye dapped you up, didn't he?
Yeah, no, he came right over to me, and I thought, yeah.
So I remember I didn't interact with Kanye, but I remember he came up to you and y'all was like face to face having a moment, and I was like, wow, y'all the same person. Like when I was looking at y'all too, I remember just looking like, wow, y'all the same dude. Like, but yeah, man, you know, he ain't do nothing with the CD. I'm pretty sure he ripped that idea off of it. You know what I'm saying?
No. He definitely ripped the ideas off the CD.
And went on and never reached out to us, but that was the end of that story.
Because a few months later, we heard Overnight Celebrity.
Mm-hmm.
And then a little bit after that, I remember Jadakiss album came out, and then he had it was a couple songs he produced, not just that one, and it had like the reverses and all that stuff in there. With nobody doing the reverses. Yeah, nobody doing the reverses but me.
And Kanye. after he took it. But yeah.
But that was a moment, man. That was a moment.
But that's putting yourself out there.
And that was
sneaking up to the tour bus, talking to the acts, talking to the bodyguards, which people do that stuff all the time. You know what I'm saying? Now, when I say all the time, I mean, it's probably more common today. You know what I'm saying? But it's still
because artists are trying to be more social now.
Yes.
You know, back then that was before the break of that social media era, to where artists, they were to themselves.
Yeah, you couldn't get to the town.
They were to themselves.
Yeah, back in that time. It was a process. And normally you hear stories of women getting away with being able to do that, sneaking to the back and getting in the back room and all that stuff. It's hard for the three dudes to pull it off, like, you know what I'm saying? And not seem like a threat or whatever else. And to give them music, they should have been like, hey, man, he don't want your CD. Get out of here. Like, you know what I'm saying? So everything aligned. It was cool that it was able to happen. But that's the story of ambition from us, man. I'm surprised we ain't never told that sooner, man. We got to start telling stories on the show, man. Like,
we got some good stories, man. Yeah, that was a good moment. That was for me an enriching moment. Even though it didn't go the way that I would hope that it would have went. But just the fact that we was able to be willing to put ourselves in that situation to do it at a time where not too many people were taking that approach. You know what I'm saying? That was, like you said, for three dudes to want to make that approach.
Yeah.
We did that.
Yeah. Most definitely. Well, shoot, man. Let's review these sticks, brother. Let's see where we go.
Hey, let's do it. Let's do it.
For me, I still don't feel like I got the best version of this Davidoff, but once we got through the early stages of it, a lot of what I didn't like about it did begin to fade, and I could start to get a glimpse of what the potential of this stick actually is. I did pick up on some earthy, woody notes. It's got a very creaminess to it. It does have some spice and leather to it. And that's pretty much what I picked up on. I still feel like the cigar itself was not well kept, so I didn't get the best version of it. But from what even with that being said, I'm still going to give it a 3.8 on a scale from 1 to 5. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like,
man, Davidoff in the threes.
High 3.8. It probably realistically should have been an even 4 if it would have been kept up well with. But I'm gonna go with a 3.8. You know what I'm saying? And that's no shot at it. It had to fight through a lot of unfortunate circumstances, but it still seemed to be a good stick from what I can say.
Man, just hey, look, keep your cigars up. Take care of them. Make sure the spot that you go to is taking care of their sticks too. Don't just spend the money because it's a great cigar brand, especially one that we've gave the nods to. check your cigars, man. Hey, let me ask you a quick question though. Do you give your cigars a squeeze when you pick them up? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I know I do that from time to time. I don't always. I definitely did it from like anytime I go to a new cigar spot. I definitely do a quality check. And I went to this spot. I picked up all the cigars that I wanted. Gave them a little squeeze. Gave them a look over and all that stuff. A spot that I go to typically, I usually don't do that. I'll just pick them up and go because I trust that they take care of their cigars. But any spot I've never been to before and I don't know anything about them, I usually pick them up, give them a squeeze. I don't do like the smell or anything like that. I don't do that. But I'll definitely give them a good squeeze just to make sure that, hey, look, it's kept some kind of humidity in there.
Yeah. I squeeze all mine. I squeeze all of them. I squeezed this one and I knew I didn't have a long window on it. But at the same time, my schedule doesn't allow me to just bounce around from cigar shop to cigar shop, so I kind of, once I a certain amount of time to go pick up sticks, that's stick time, you know what I'm saying? And from there, I'm not going to be like in there looking around and like, nah, I ain't getting nothing. Let me run out to the next spot because I just don't be having the time for it.
Now, you got to get it. If you're there, you got to get something.
If I'm there,
you got to make it worth it.
Yeah, so I knew I wanted that particular Davidoff, and I picked the best out of the bunch. Just kind of, you don't want to be touching everything because they are kind of lingering around, hanging around. You don't want to look like that person just.
Yeah, why you touching all my cigars?
Yeah, so I put my hand in the box.
You buy it.
I just kind of fumble around a little bit here while I'm in there, and then pull out one. It's kind of how I do it.
Yeah.
So I don't draw too much attention. I give myself about 6 seconds with my hand in the box, kind of fiddling around. All right. So I knew I was up against the clock with this stick, and I still went for it. So that it's on me in that sense because I could have.
I hate hearing Davidoff in the threes because I know even with the few Davidoffs I've had and the one I enjoyed the least was still in the fours. It was still in the fours for me.
Yeah.
But, yeah, man.
You just had a little roughness, man.
Make sure you make
in there. So, and I don't think it was
make sure your cigars are taken care of. Dang. Yeah. I hate that. You have a Davidoff, you got to enjoy that experience. I want to hear something great about it. But it is what it is. This punch, I'm going to tell you this. How we handled the pepper in the very beginning, top notch. That pepper was definitely there. But the piece that I enjoyed about it and going to the second, third just now, when you light a cigar with a cedar stick and you get that good cedar aroma and it kind of gives a little bit of that taste into the cigar.
Yeah.
I did not use cedar for this, only used a match. But for some reason, when I got to the tail end of that first third, a lot of good cedar notes came in. Like just the aroma of cedar, a little bit of cedar on the palate with some earth, a little bit of cocoa on top of the pepper. Made it great. I was reading through it. It's supposed to have some leather. Didn't taste any leather. I don't know if that comes in a little bit later on in the cigar. Sometimes you get to that last third and that leather does kind of kick in. So I'm gonna check for that in the post review, which we got to get to that. We got to make sure we start doing these post reviews on these sticks. Because a lot of times we only get through the second, third at best on these
halfway on the second, third
on the show. Yeah. But I'm enjoying the cigar so far. And the hunch I had in the very beginning with how the pepper came off, the pepper's there, but it's handling the pepper very well. The pepper is still there, even where I'm at now. But of course, it's dialed back some. That cedar really took over, and that cedar really kind of carried the rest of the cigar through this that first third, which made it very, very enjoyable. That aroma, loved the aroma. And I had this my father's yesterday that I started smoking. I wish I would have smoked this one on the show. Top notch as far as so far. This I'm sorry to be jumping from one cigar to another, but I got to give a little shout out to this one. So far, out of all of my fathers I've smoked, this has the top aroma. It's the Le Beyond. Or Bijon, whatever it is. I think it's Jon since it's French. It says Le Beyond. So gotta get my pronunciations right. We gotta get to France, man.
Le Beyond.
There we go. So far, one of the best aromatic cigars I've had so far, especially from my father's. But this definitely was in that category. When that aroma hit that cedar, top notch, made that an experience even more enjoyable through this first third, going into the second third. I'm going to give this a solid 4.0 right now. I want to give it a 4.1, but I'm going to reserve that only because we're not through with it yet. I'm going to say at this point right now, this punch is giving me 4 vibes.
Hey.
So I'm going to say 4.0 right now.
That's dope.
Can it lose it?
Well, this might be, I think this is the very first time we've reviewed Punch on the show. Out of all 50. So that's good to hear that they came into the on the Vernon Cigar Show. You know, they came on here and put their foot down. You know what I'm saying? And say, hey, I'm somebody to be recognized. We here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's dope.
And for it to be in Connecticut with Nickel Wagren, everything else, thumbs up on it. So right now, 4.0 is where I'm sticking with right now at this point. I will. I'm gonna put a promise on this. I will do a post cigar review on this. Just so I can chronicle where it's gonna go from here, from the 4. So check out the Vernon's Instagram post on this stick, and I'll give the full review a little bit later. But right now, 4.0 for the punch.
That's Vernon's_cigars. Vernon's_cigars on Instagram and TikTok. It'll probably be there also.
And TikTok. Yes.
And me and him will talk off the air. We may put it on the Spotify too. You know what I'm saying? We'll see. We'll figure that out. So y'all might be able to see it here if y'all follow us there also. But
yeah.
Hey man, that's today's episode of the Cigars and Everything Else podcast. We appreciate y'all for tuning in this week. We'll get with y'all next week. Keep your sticks up.
Cigars up. Yeah.